Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is another set of film reviews where I pick 3 films, usually lower than about 5 in IMDb, so 4.9 or something like that, or maybe even 5, but quite low. I try to go for. Sometimes they could be all black and white, so even a film that isn't really a low rating, like some of the black and whites, but are films that you may or may not really have heard of. Like from 1960 or something that it's quite cool, but people don't tend to watch. What I've done with these later videos, as opposed to my first 3, I think, is I've actually put some images in there. So the first ones I didn't, but these ones now are. So they have the basic DVD cover, and then when the cast and crew come up, there's images so you can actually visualize who they actually are. Sometimes I'm trying to take the images from the actual film, and if not, there'll be generic images, and also the trailer, if I can find one, is in there. That will just be mute, as in no volume, so that'll be in the background. You can watch that while I'm talking, so at least then again you can see what I'm talking about. And it's a trailer. It's not. I'm not nicking any film or anything. It's stuff that's out there on the internet to watch for free on IMDb or wherever, even on YouTube if I can't find it. The trailer, I mean, not the film. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully this setup is good, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's talk about the films. Okay, so the next film is a Crocodile. It's a comedy action horror. Came out in 2000. It's rated 15. It's an hour and 34 minutes. Amazon have a rating of 3.5 and IMDb at 3.7. And there's not much for the synopsis, but basically a group of college friends are attacked by a giant man-eating crocodile while on spring break. Now, the director is Tobe Hooper, and he directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and anyone who's a true avid horror fan will know what the hell that is. The producer, there's loads as usual, but 2 of them that I picked out is Boaz Davidson, who is Boaz, and he produced The Outpost, which is a good film in a weird way. Frank DiMartini, who produced Mad Money. The music was by Solj Colbert, and he did The Body, the music for that. Now, the cast, as it were, we've got Mark McLachlan, McLachlan, who played Brady Turner, and he was in Home Legend. Caitlin Martin, who played Claire, and she was in Without a Trace. D.W. Reiser, Reiser, who was Kit, and was also in a film called 3 Below Zero. Chris Solari, Solari, and he was in Quitters. Oh, he played Duncan McCoy. And Julia Mintz, who played Annabelle, and she was in Habit. So the budget is about $2,800, or 2.7 million euros, or 2.3 million pound. It's also known as Flat Dog, which is understandable because that's the name of the crocodile. And it was filmed in Mexico and Santa Clarita in California, Clarita. So it starts off with actually some decent rock music. It's very mainstreamy, if you know what I mean, the stuff you would hear on the radio. So there's spring break, loads of people messing around on the beaches and the water. You see what's going to happen there, and then you see some rivalry between certain people that turn up. The main characters I've mentioned here, we've got Annabelle and Claire, a bit of rivalry there going on, whatever. So the weird thing is that they're going off on this boating trip, and they're using this boat that looks like a house. So it's like a square on a raft. So it's a square boat, if that makes sense. So the raft is a raft, and then this like box is on top. It's just so bizarre. I've never seen a boat like that. Maybe they are like that. I don't know. So it's about 10 minutes in. I've heard about, I think, 5 rock tracks. They're just constantly just streaming through the music. It's like this with this and this and this. Like, my God, okay, fine. Get the soundtrack. It'll be great. So I saw the first set of kills. I can sympathise why the Crocodile did it. If you watched, what was it, Grizzly Rage? You'll understand that one. So I saw the mouth and the tail, some blood. But the blood was very red and watery, like cherry juice. And even the Crocodile managed to push a car down the road. Just got behind it and just pushed it down the road. Why? Well, there was a reason, but it's just bizarre that it had a brain like that. So you can't see anything. There's no body parts or anything. You just see the mouth and the tail. So obviously they're on spring break. It's mostly drinking, joking around, messing around, sort of things. Kind of stuff on Spring Break Island, but on an island, away from the crowd. So like I said, the croc is pretty quick at the killing. But I saw a few killings at this point, I don't know, about 20 minutes into the film or 30 minutes, and no body parts or before, during, or after the attack. So, as I said at the beginning, I don't understand why the crocodile's going for it. And if you've seen Jurassic Park, the raptor eggs, you'll understand then why the crocodile is now hunting these people. You can understand why they're hunting. I'm not going to give that one away. If you haven't seen it, then you won't know. But if you have seen it, you'll understand. So, when you watch the trailer, which obviously I've put in there, what you don't see is seconds before the crocodile is trying to attack Shelley. I think it's Shelley or Annabella. Have I got Shelley from somewhere? Where the hell did I write that down from? I think it was Annabelle. So it's literally, you don't see that bit, and then straight after into the trailer. So it's kind of like misses a little bit. Would have been nice to keep that bit in. So the croc finally, we see him chomping somebody. He gets his mouth around this lad's belly, he's chomping it in two, but it kind of looks like it's biting down rubber teeth. It looks like it's not piercing. Let me put it that way. Well, there's a bit of blood, but not much, considering that the crocodile's chomping down on your stomach. So we meet a crocodile expert. We learn some nice things as usual. Like we did with the ants one, and the bear, I think it was. But it seems a bit of a nut, bit of a weird one. I think he's on the trailer again. He's the one with the weird scars on his face. So there's the funny bit. There's always a funny bit in these films, and it's the famous hurt leg. When they're all running away and somebody trips over and hurts the leg. It happens in every horror film known to mankind. So this Annabelle trips over and goes, "Oh, my leg," and then Claire says, "Oh, my contact," and then this guy who was D.W. Reiser, played Kit, said, "Oh my God, we are just attacked by some huge creature, and you guys are worried about some blisters and dirt in your eyes," which I thought was actually quite funny, especially when we went, "Oh, my contact." So they're being chased, and that girl, which is Annabelle, with the hurt leg, is out running them all. So I don't know what she did with the leg, but it just seems to be so much better. She's off like a shot. And we see the crocodile on the land. It's actually quite a decent one. It looks like it's really there, good special effects, the lighting and the stuff. And the action kept me entertained. Again, as usual, I keep forgetting to write stuff down. Obviously I'm trying to watch the film, but I'm scribbling things as I watch it. And they're in this shop. And afterwards, this the main character, who was Mark McLachlan, is pushing. Who is it? I can't remember who he's pushing. He's pushing Duncan Cristolaro in a wheelbarrow, and then we saw the crocodile leap into the air and dive over the boat like a jumping fish. It's like, okay, yeah. So we gone through the wheelbarrow, and then that happened. It was just so bizarre. It's just like, okay, can crocodiles do that? I mean, everything else up to this point was quite realistic, and then it just seemed to just jump over it like a salmon going upstream. So bizarre. And then I saw another killing. It was quite decent in the game. But I like the ending. It's kind of what I thought would happen, but Duncan, who was Chris, and the main guy, which was Brady, who was Mark McLachlan, I wasn't expecting that at all. Again, I can't really explain it what it is because it'll give the game away. Give the film away. But it wasn't what I was expecting at all, and I thought, well, that's different. So I'm actually going to give it a 5. I won't give it a 3.7. I'm going to give it a 5. I think it's quite a decent one. It kept me entertained. Decent effects. We see the crocodile, some funny bits, and then obviously we have the mainstream rock, which was quite good and entertaining. So if you like music, then you're happy with that. So yeah, so that was Crocodile, and that's I've seen 2 crocodile films now, Croc and Crocodile. Very original names. I don't know what the third one's going to be called. C. So yeah, so we'll see what we got for the next one. Okay, so the next film is Maneater. It's a TV movie, a horror adventure action. Came out in 2007. It's got a rating of 16+. Amazon is the rating of 4 out of 5, and IMDb 4.1. There ain't much of a synopsis. Basically, from Amazon, the hunter becomes the hunted when the forested shadows of the Appalachian Trail are stalked by a wild animal out of its element, hungry and born to ravage. So the director is Gary Yates, and he directed Eye of the Beast, which I've reviewed before, and he also directed 7 Times Lucky. The producer is Halmy Senior and Junior, which they've done plenty of other films I've reviewed, and they also produced Alice and Zappa in respective order. And Phyllis Lang, who again I've looked at before, she did other stuff, and she did Mad Ship, produced that. And music was by Glenn Burr, B-U-H-R, and he did 7 Times Lucky again. So the cast, we have Gary Busey, B-U-S-E-Y, who was Grady Barnes, and he was in Point Break. We have Ian D. Clarke, who was Colonel James Graham, and he was in Goosebumps. Switch my phone here. Ty Wood, who played Roy Satterley, and he was in Riverdale. And Sarah Constable, who was the Deputy Sharon Wyman, and she was in Deadly Sisters. And Aaron Hughes, who was Sergeant Howe, and he was in You Kill Me. It's not known by any other name, so that's fine. And it was filmed in Stonewall and Winnipeg in Manitoba in Canada. So there's a bit of information for you there. So, it actually starts off with a kid walking in the road for no reason. You don't know why. And the kid, from what I gathered, is Ty Wood. And the oncoming van swerves and crashes. Then this kid and a tiger is just sitting down. And then this music kicks in, which is like kind of like jive music. I can't sing jive music, but you know what I mean. Now the first death, I guess, I just saw a tiger pouncing. There was no screaming. They just died. Now the mother of the kid, who I can't remember who she was. She wasn't one of the ones I've written down here. But she's very, very religious. So basically wants the son to read the Bible all day while she's at work and all night. And they don't have a TV, they don't have a phone. It's just religion, which is fine, but it seems quite intense. Now Gary Yates, Gary Busey, he's the sheriff, and he's wearing this jacket and trousers, but the jacket is too small. It basically strains when he's walking, so it looks like he's kind of it's like a one size too small thing, and it's buttoned up, obviously. So we end up going back to the kid, and the mum's there. He's come back from work, and she's teaching her son the Bible still. It's pitch black. They're by candlelight, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But it's just religion. So there were 2 confirmed deaths. There was no screaming. They just died. Anyway, I found some body parts, a leg, an arm, torso. It's actually quite good, quite decent things. Got the famous quote. I always find a quote. So Gary Busey is giving a press conference, and the female reporter's there, and she says, "Bengal tiger, what does that mean for the community?" And the sheriff says, "That means we have a tiger on the loose that is eating people." And he's actually on the trailer. If you watch the trailer when it comes up, that's the last little bit that you see. So it's like the old Jaws thing. Sheriff says no one to be on their own on national press, and then there's an annual festival going on. The mayor's not happy. It's like the Jaws thing. It was like either Beast as well. They had the same sort of thing. Now we have a body. We'll find another dead body, and it actually looks pretty convincing. His head was attacked, and you can see his tongue sticking out. There's not much left of his head, but his tongue is there. And I thought it was quite cool. I mean, for a body, you know, at least it's decent in a way. So a bit later on, I actually look at the sheriff now, and you can see, I think he's wearing a girdle or a corset, you know, something that makes your stomach look thinner and his chest slimmer. Because you can see it under his jacket. It's like this band around his bottom of the rib cage sort of thing. You can see it. So I think that's why it looks like he's about to burst his seams. So the real tiger's walking through the woods. It's a real one, and I have a feeling about 20 minutes towards the end of the film what the film was actually about. It's a bit of a weird one with the tiger, but it's different. The acting's quite good. The scenery is like a forest wood type place, and when it's in darkness, at least you can see something. So it's not completely pitch black like it was in some other films that I've seen in my life. Krampus, I think. Sometimes you can't see a damn thing, but this one you could. So it was like they had a fake light. So we watched the real tiger attack a woman, and she did scream. The first person ever screamed. But it was a real tiger attacking a woman, a real woman. So it was good animal training. The woman was, I don't think it was the real actress. Maybe it was, I don't know, but it looked really good. So there was no CGI. There was no stock footage of a tiger walking around. It was a real tiger. And you either saw it running around, and then you saw it trying to swipe at people underneath a car. But it was the actual tiger, not just somebody with a paw in their hand, you know. So yeah, I did enjoy it. Obviously, I like to read the credits maybe at the end to figure out who's who, but they shot up so fast. It was like, I was like, oh right, okay, fine. Now it had a rating of 4.1. I'm going to give it a 5 because they used a real tiger. There was no CGI. They've done that before in Grizzly Rage. They used a real bear. and obviously not with the Crocodile, and not with the... Oh, they did with Croc, but not the Crocodile. Can't think of what else. Ants. Then, well, yeah, they kind of used real ants, I suppose, but not really. So yeah, but good film, good film. The Colonel, which I didn't even mention, the guy that was playing Colonel James Graham, E.D. Clark, he's basically come to kill the tiger. He's a very English person, sitting out in the middle of the in a tent drinking tea. I know most British people drink tea, but we're not all hoity-toity people, but there you go. Anyway, so hopefully you've enjoyed that one, and yeah, right, okay. Okay, so the film here is Aquarium of the Dead. Amazon has it down as a sci-fi, suspense, comedy, action, horror. I wouldn't have said sci-fi. It came out in 2021. It's rated 15. Amazon has a rating of 3, IMDb of 2.9. The Amazon synopsis is: workers at an aquarium off the coast of Southern California find themselves surrounded by undead marine life after a mysterious virus sweeps through the building. Only steps from an ocean inlet, the workers must fight to stop the creatures before they escape into the sea and infect the entire planet. So the director was Glenn Miller, and I think it was Glenn Miller, and he was also the director for Zombies. The producer was David Michael Latt, L-A-T-T, and he produced Titanic 666. Music was, there's 3 of them. There's Christopher Cano, C-A-N-O, and he did Jurassic Galaxy. Mikel, M-I-K-E-L, Shane Prather did The Serpent, and Chris Riddenhauer did Surrounded. The cast, we have Eva, and I don't know how you say her surname, C-E-J-A, who played Miranda Riley, and she was in Moon Crash. D.C. Douglas, who was Daniel Hanley, and he was in Ultraman. Madeline Fulk, who was Dr. Karen James, and she was in The Faces of Evil. Brandon Lee W., who was Skylar, and he was in You Know Out. And Vivica, V-I-V-I-C-A, A Fox, was Eddie Clueworth, and she was in Independence Day. And it was filmed in San Diego, California, USA, and also Aquarium of the Pacific, 100 Aquarium Way, Long Beach, California, USA. Is there other buildings on the Aquarium Way? It's really interesting. I don't know, actually. I'm curious. So it starts straight from the off. So when you watch the trailer, because it's in this video, you'll see at the very beginning, that's the beginning of the film, so I'm not giving anything away. The one was intense. It's the doctor, Madeline, and it's quite funny actually when she gets whacked by an octopus, and then 2 deaths within 5 minutes. It's quite enjoyable. You don't see the deaths, you just see them being attacked, and that's it. And you get to see real fish and sharks, and jellyfish, and all sorts of stuff. It's quite nice. So there's some good info about sharks and walruses from the main guy, Dan. It's typical again, like when I've watched some of the other films, the Hive was about ants and some other things as well. The Crocodile one, you get to hear about interesting stuff. I swear they just read, whatever they read about it, and it's interesting because you think, oh good, they do know what they're talking about. At least I assume so anyway. So they were told by one of the bosses to get rid of some veterinary stuff. And Dan was like on this Zoom call, yeah, I've got the paperwork here somewhere, I've done that, I've disposed of it. And then Miranda, who was Eva, asked him on the radio, have you definitely got rid of it? And he's like, yeah, trust me. So you know where that was going. So it looks like the aquarium is running on crappy old equipment, like the like most shoestring budgets. You can have everything you want except if it costs money. And the senator, who was Anthony Jensen, is there. So they want money from him, and he's like saying, you can have a website, but we can't give you the money for it. So some weird packs. So all hell's broken loose, right? We've got fish banging on the tanks to get out, so they're just headbutting the tank. One person apparently is dead. I don't know. I heard screaming, and then somebody yelled, "Oh, she's dead!" But we never saw her die by anything. She just sort of cringed into the corner and stared and screams. And then Dan and Skylar, who's played by Brandon, was running towards this electric fence control box, right? And Skylar says, well, Brandon says, "What the hell was that, man? I ain't seen otters, otters, even. I can't read my own writing. Otters acting like that before." But we never saw any otters. It was literally a case of they were there on the top, messing around by the sharks, talking about walruses and sharks. Then we cut to the woman screaming down below, and then we come back to them two just belting along. And I was like, are we supposed to have seen something? Because we never saw anything. But yeah, I think it was on the trailer, but the crabs attacking was actually quite fun. I enjoyed that. And then I thought that was the funny part. And then the starfish attacking. Oh my god almighty. It's not like they just leap up. They're just starfish. But that was so funny and lame at the same time. It was so enjoyable. And then we got back to the more info from the marine life. I learned about starfish and octopuses and stuff. Very interesting. So about an hour into the film, believe it or not, we see our first dead body with some special effects. 1 hour into the film, so that's the first confirmed dead body. We see some dead bodies, but that's the first one where they actually see, oh look, he's got something dodgy with his neck. Now, you see things in film and you think, what the hell? So, most people sort of say if there's an emergency or fire or something, what's the one thing you do not do if you live in a building that's got more than 2 floors? Do you use a lift? Probably not. Use a staircase? Yes. But no, the fire crew went in the lift. Like you do. And then at last, a guy actually got attacked by a walrus. What I mean by that is it's the first real attack. You can actually see them being attacked. It was just tusks through the stomach. There's no blood. It just went through his stomach and that was it. I'm not going to tell you who that was. But the starfish can kill very efficiently. This what was her name now? There was a woman who'd been killed by it, and it was just kind of killing her slowly. But as a game, some bits just don't make sense. So when Clue, who was played by Vivica, and it's in the trailer partly, but basically she jumps headfirst into the water to kill the octopus. You see us jumping, and then next second she's literally falling backwards into the water, and the octopus is at the bottom, and then the water just swishes, and it's just like, is there something missing? Because at one moment she's literally jumping in with an axe, going ah, and then she's not very far away from this thing, and then literally within seconds she's falling backwards. I'm going to sneeze, but I'm going to try not to keep the sneeze in. Now the octopus moving is pretty good. In fact, all the animals were either the real or CGI were all good. You know, the crocodiles and the walrus and all that. It was brilliant. I loved it. Oh, and has anybody seen the Deep Blue Sea? I think it's the Deep Blue Sea. You know, where there's this woman who wants to electrocute this shark, so she ships off all her clothes, kills it, and then gets dressed again. And you're like, what the hell was that for? Couldn't you not just stood on a, whatever it is? Well, in this one, the Maneater just gets on with it, just electrocutes the person, the creature. Doesn't bother dicking about with all that rubbish, just grabs the thing. And she's in water. She doesn't give a shit. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a funny, decent looking animal film. The animals were decent looking, like I said. The acting was good. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't like some of these other films, like was it Maneater? No, Krampus. Oh God Almighty, that. You know, it was good. It was good acting. It was decent storyline. You know, I'll probably give it a 5. Forget that 2.9 rubbish. I'll probably give it a decent 5. I think it was decent, and it kept me entertained. I was enjoying it. I was chuckling away, and yeah. Definitely more fun than a lot of horrors out there. Okay, right. Well, so there we go. We'll pick the next one in a minute.